Will Manchester United be signing a Cristiano Ronaldo replacement in January? Can Manchester United afford to sign a Ronaldo replacement in January? Where's the budget coming from? I'm going to explain it all in this video because ahead of the January transfer window, before we start getting excited about any conversations around Gonzalo Ramos or Cody Gakpo or João Felix, it's important to understand the financial details behind it all. I'll try and explain it in this video. Please, if you would and you do enjoy this video, drop a like on it. I'll be doing a giveaway, by the way, giving away United Retro Kit for anybody who leaves a comment on this video because I want you to get involved. This January, we've got an opportunity here to replace Cristiano Ronaldo, probably 6 months ahead of when I think the club was planning to do it. After that interview with Piers Morgan and Ronaldo being booted out of the club, it gives Ten Hag the opportunity to, in my opinion, step ahead of what was going to be a plan for the summer and bring it in January. Now, Ten Hag has gone on record and confirmed, look, I want to sign a Ronaldo replacement in January. This is what he said. He said, yes, but only when we find the right player. We will do everything in our power. We are doing research at every opportunity, and we will do everything we can if that opportunity is there. And you know full well, right, in the comments, you know full well what players we're currently, well, already we have been looking at, right? Cody Gakpo is top of that list. Before his breakthrough at the international stage, on the biggest of stages internationally, the World Cup, with the Netherlands with 3 goals. We tried to sign him in the summer. We couldn't afford him. And, of course, Anthony from Ajax. Gonzalo Ramos had his breakthrough tournament, a hat-trick there for Portugal. And it's going to be difficult to sign him from Benfica in January, but he is another option. And, of course, there's João Felix, who the Atletico Madrid president has said, look, he could be leaving in January. These are the 3 names that so far we've been speaking about here on United People's TV. Gakpo, Ramos, and João Felix. No, none of them are particular. Well, Gonzalo Ramos is a typical number 9, but that's not the debate we're having here in the comments, because this is all about understanding the context of Manchester United financially. That's the most important thing that we've all got to get our heads around before this January transfer window opens, because of course the Glazers have put the club up for sale, or as they say, they're looking for strategic alternatives to enhance the club's growth, aka we've maxed the credit cards. I haven't actually quite maxed the credit cards, but that's effectively what they're doing. The Glazers have dragged Manchester United into a financial mess. I've tried to explain that in a couple of videos I did on Friday and on Saturday, the interview with Kieran Maguire in particular, to try and understand it and gain the knowledge on it, because I'm educating myself as much as I'm educating you with these videos. But this is the latest on the Glazers and the sale of Manchester United. This is coming from The Athletic, a really in-depth article. I could potentially do a separate video on this tomorrow, but there's a couple of standout points from it. Number 1, the Glazers are looking to sell early in 23, the first quarter, January, February, March 2023. Now, the Rain Group, who of course are there, look, they're acting as the exclusive financial advisor, the American bank, who of course they orchestrated the Chelsea takeover. Now, they are saying, the Athletic have put it down here, they're looking for a price in the region of 6 to 7 billion pounds. I think good luck to the Glazers, because I don't think they're going to get that. This in particular, this point here blew my mind, right? Last summer, just when you think that the Glazers can't get any more slimy, right? You hear this. Because during the summer, we heard that the Glazers were in talks with Apollo, which is a private equity firm, and they were looking for investment in Manchester United, and all of us presumed it would be investment into, you know, maybe they don't want to pay for the new stadium, they're going to get investment from elsewhere. But no, they were just looking for investment to buy out their own brothers and sisters, Brian, Glazer, Edward, Darcy, and Kevin, I think are the other 4. Joel and Avram Glazer tried to raise $1 billion worth of investment, not into Manchester United, but to buy out their own brothers and sisters so they could own Manchester United outright. Christ, thank you very much, Apollo, for not giving them the money. They've done the Super League. They've done Project Big Picture. They've done this with Apollo. They tried everything before they finally realised that they had to put the club up for sale. And because of all of this, because this has been what has driven the Glazers, they've not really cared about the financial security of our football club. They've not cared about anything. And that is why we are, right now, we are staring. We're not in financial ruin, right? But it is a financial crisis. And this is where I want to tie it back in to the conversation around replacing Cristiano Ronaldo, because this is really significant. And big up to Toe in the Water, who I believe writes for Red News, for helping with a few charts and graphs here. Well, I've used them from your Twitter account, but I'm sure I'm giving you credit. So I hope that's enough, because this really helps you understand what's going on. The first and foremost, Manchester United, we are skint in terms of our cash balance. Look how low that is now. That's the lowest it's been. I mean, I'm not sure it's ever been lower than that. 24. It's not 20. This is in millions, of course. 24 million pounds in our cash reserves. And if you're looking at how much that is, how much can that pay? Manchester United, in the 3 months ending the 30th September 2022, over just under 100 million pounds worth of cash left. That's how much these numbers went down. Look, 121 million in the cash reserves, down to 24 million, nearly 100 million down. And look at how much Manchester United cost from an operating perspective in those 3 months. 163 million pounds. 24 million pounds in the bank. You do the maths. It's not even enough to pay for what? A few weeks of operating expenses. That's how low that is. And when it comes to Manchester United and how we funded our operations in the summer, you just have to take a look at this, right? This is the debt that's on Manchester United because of the Glazers loan, right? If I pull that up there, this debt here, that's servicing the Glazers loan. This part of the debt here, it's written there, the net transfer debt. So this is down to what Manchester United owe football clubs for players that we have signed, right? If we go dive into this as well, you can see the spike in this chart. Look at that vertical growth here towards, what was that, 2021, 22? Manchester United, this is how we've been funding our spending. And it's not, right, I would say here, this is quite normal. It's normal for clubs to spread the cost of a player over a period of 4 years, called player amortization, if I'm correct. That's not unusual. But Manchester United and the scale of it, nobody's doing it like we are currently doing it. 218 million we spent on new players from 3 months to from the 1st of July. And look, our total amounts owing for transfer installments to other clubs is a Premier League record. £306 million. You know how I pointed at Barcelona and I was saying about how disgusting it is that they're sending off future revenues and spending it now. Manchester United are spending money we don't have. We're spending money on the credit card. We're effectively buying players on Klarna. And that's where it comes back to the title of this video and the £100 million budget. Sam, where is this coming from then? It's coming from the overdrafts. This is from the official financial reports here. So on the 3rd of October, after the first quarter ended, the Glazers took out another £100 million worth from our overdraft. And you go down here, and this is where I'm saying the budget's going to come from. This takes the total drawdown of as of the 3rd of October 2022 to 200 million. It means Manchester United have taken 200 million pounds out in overdrafts. And look, we have available facilities of 300 million. And that right there, ladies and gents, is where I'm saying this maximum 100 million pound budget could come from, because we spent 200, and if we want to, the Glazers could put out another 100 there. Now you might say, Sam, why on earth would you want to put further debt on the club? I'm just explaining to you how you could get to that conversation around a 100 million pound budget. Because if the Glazers wanted to, there is a facility available there with the Bank of America. I don't know, is it Bank of America or Santander? It doesn't really matter. They could, in theory, increase the overdraft from 200 million to 300 million. Now, they might even have to do that when it comes to having no cash, when it comes to operating expenses, when it comes to, actually running the football club. But there is a facility there to take out another 100 million. And given that's how we've been spending money in terms of signing players over the last couple of years, again, going back to this and showing how vertical that spike has been, this is how Manchester United have been buying players. And as I said, it's not unusual, but we are a Premier League record, 300 million. And I think that's going to go up in January if we sign players. And if you're the Glazers and you're trying to sell the club, you're trying to make Manchester United an attractive proposition, are you really going to give a shit about putting another £100 million of debt on the club to sign somebody to make it an even better prospect? No, you're not. And given that the Glazers have dragged us towards this position, I wouldn't be surprised if they took out another £100 million worth of overdraft there, because we've spoken about this as a community. Do we have the ability to take more credit out? Yes, we do. We've got official confirmation from Manchester United's official reports that we can take another 100 million out. Remains to be seen if we do, but I wanted to explain it in this video. And then after this point, we can start talking about transfers. We can talk about X, Y, Z. Hopefully, we're talking about the Glazers selling the club. They want to sell it in the first quarter of 2023, and I hope they do. But look, I hope I've explained it to you in a bit. This video, it might be a little bit boring. I keep saying this. It might be boring, but it's the most important thing to understand. There's no point in having fantastical conversations about money we don't have if we're not going to spend it. We don't actually have the money. That's the mad thing. But the overdraft is there. And given that the Glazers have used it before, they use it this summer, don't be surprised if we use it again. And whoever comes in, that debt now is in excess of 1 billion in total. When you look at the actual amount that the Glazers owe because of the loans, as well as the net transfers owed to other clubs, man, they need to get the fuck out. They really do. They are dragging us into a dangerous, dangerous place as a set of owners.